Welcome to another edition of Chilling with Zone and Company. I am your host, Zone. And first off, I'd like to take the moment to apologize for the absence that I've been on. Before we left, we were talking about mental health, and your boy needed to take a step back for his own mental health. Not to mention they had, family cruises and just a lot of family things going on, holidays, to New Year's. We had a family friend who passed away, um, and just had to take a step back and kind of reevaluate things and before we moved forward. And now we are slowly but surely moving forward. And as promised, in a few coming weeks, we will be doing some interviews um, of some young entrepreneurs or just entrepreneurs in the general so people can kind of see what they've, you know, been through, how they made their come up, um, what they have enjoyed in the process of learning their craft, and what they look forward to doing in the future, and how things are going for them now. And then we'll also be breaking off into some neater conversations. This particular episode or segment is just me coming back to let you guys know that we'll be pulling forward. Have some interesting things. We have some new games that came out. Marvel Rival. I don't know if anybody's hopped on that, but I've hopped on it, and let me tell you, it has been a blessing to kind of play something different. Y'all all whoever watches me play know that normally I'm playing COD or even COD. Um, but there's just been so many great things that have happened since then. And let's face it, COD, unfortunately, Microsoft has dropped the ball with them because they have just continuously have let them hack and hack and hack. And I'm all for, PC gaming with console gaming or PlayStation with Xbox. But you gotta have like this middle ground where you kind of, will say, when is enough enough? When do you stop letting those people who are making these hacking devices into the game and just ruin it for everybody? If you're like me, you play because you want to have your peace of mind, you want to be able to relax, you want to be able to decompress. I use gaming as my form of relief for my day to day. That is my stress reliever when I'm not at the gym or doing something crazy. But it's just becoming so unpleasant when you hop into a lobby and you're instantly getting lagged out because there's so many cheaters using so many different cheats in the game that the servers can't handle it. So you get lagged out the game, or you just see people blatantly cheating in the first and say, "Oh, I'm not cheating, bro. I'm not the best player out there, but I could definitely tell when someone's cheating. It's very obvious when you're snapping. Now, mind you, I play super fast as well. I have fast aims. For those who have watched me play, but you can tell from how I aim to how a cheater aims. And it just kind of just takes the fun out of gaming. I remember the days when you'd be able to just hop on a game and play, and you really wouldn't have to worry about cheating. And I feel like this era that we're in right now is just filled with nothing but cheater. And they always say, if you're not trying to cheat, you're not trying to win. But I feel like that's not always the case. Like, if you're constantly cheating, when do you really develop any skills for anything? Um, you can use as a metaphor as like you're cheating at life if you're cheating at the game. But in reality, you're just making everybody else's pastime horrible. And I get it. A lot of those like to have those ads where they can cheat with the hacks. But if that's the case, how about we make a lobby for people who want to use cheats? Or we just separate it. Now, mind you, I play on PC lately because I just like the way PC feels when I play COD. It looks nicer. I still use a controller. I don't use a keyboard and mouse, but it just looks graphically nicer on a PC. So I tend to stick with the PC play. Um, but that's not always the case for everybody else, and I feel like things need to be changed. There's been a lot of great movies that have came out too, and a lot of my friends have pulled away from COD because of the cheating. We went to Marvel Rivals. I mean, it's kind of like Paladins. If you ever played Paladins back in the day, it's very similar to Paladins. I know a lot of people say it's like Overwatch. Scratch that. It's more like Paladins with Marvel heroes. And I have to lie. I mean, I have to admit, not lie, admit that Marvel Rivals has been fun. I've been rocking the Punisher on that bad boy, just laying bodies down. But you have like Scarlet Witch, you have Iron Man, Winter Soldier, Rocket, and this game is one of those where you kind of need a healer. You kind of need something of each, and even playing comp. And what I like about what they did is that you can still play with cross-platform, but when it comes to like competition play, it's only consoles versus consoles or PC versus PC. Now, I really hope they integrate this cross progression, which a lot of games are doing. But this game, that game Off the Grid, cross progression because I mean, like for PlayStation got extra skins than Xbox. Xbox has some extra things than PC. Each platform has their different things, but I'm gonna be honest, like some of the skins I got on PlayStation, I want to use when I'm playing on my Xbox, or I want to use when I'm playing on my PC, and I would just love, like, for me to just be able to use the skins, like cross progression for skins. That's all I need. That's all I need. Give me cross progression for skins, and you will have no more complaints out of me. But this season, they did a season zero, which was fun. I think they had like 20 million people play. They haven't had anybody really drop off, which I have to say, to toot their horn, that is an accomplishment there. Now, mind you, they still have their seasons. You still get some skins, and the skins are hard. I mean, they're so nice. And of course, you gotta pay for them, but you also have a chance to win the currency for them too. So like you're grinding, you're doing these achievements, you can kind of win certain things that will help you get closer to that skin without actually having to use that real la mula, which is amazing. And anybody knows me, I'm all about that free 99 if possible because things are hard, you know, out there in this world, especially with the inflation on everything that's going up. I was with my in-laws and we were at the store and we were just talking like it's crazy. We were at the deli section. I was getting meat and we got a pound and it was like 12.99 per pound. But somehow along the way, when they rang it, it was like over a pound, but it was cheaper than what was listed. And I was like, "Hey, I'm taking it. Like, win's win." And they're like, and one of the employers like, "Well, it's different." One other employer's like, "Well, that's how the skill reads, so it's a come up. Like, if the scale reads it and the system reads it and it pops out this price, it's this price." And then one of the employees like, "This one over here don't want you to have that victory of having the price that's lower." I'm like, "Yeah, but I want that price that's lower because you know." Who doesn't want to save some money, especially when you're doing everything right and it just comes out to be lower? I really think that is a pat on the back that I truly deserve for myself. So I will never say no to that. But what I will say no to, and which I think everybody should start saying no to, is that why is all the healthy stuff that you should be eating, you should want to buy, cost so much more than than the cheap stuff, the junk stuff that puts weight on you, that's really bad for you. It's so cheap to buy, and then they wonder why people are not progressing or not getting healthy. Well, if you go to the store and you're looking at all the healthy stuff, you're like, yo, I'm going to make a healthy choice. I'm going to do something different. I'm going to put me first. And then you go to do that, and then you grab like 6 or 7 items, and you're like at $100. You're like, whoa, 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 whoa. Let me take a step back and put it back, right? Versus, and you go and you just buy, processed foods, frozen foods, the junk, the chips, the pop, or the soda, whatever you want to call it, you know, and you have a whole cart full of it, right? And you're looking and it's $50, right? Versus the six healthy items you have, and it's almost $100. And you're sitting there like, well, I can buy the healthy options, only six things, and pay over $100 or $100, or I can fill my cart up with processed foods, junk, everything else under the sun, and I'm paying $50. You're gonna see people go with the junk food items and the processed foods versus the healthy because of the price variation. I mean, in my belief, I know they put like sugar taxes and all that stuff up, but why does it really matter if it's still cheaper than the healthy options? I feel like those two things need to be flipped. Like the healthy options to be super cheap. They should want you to buy the healthy options. I mean, if they're talking about the country being obese and then and a deficit of fat people because we're not eating healthy, well, how about you give us those options to eat healthy, right? Because if you're constantly raising the price of the stuff and the healthy stuff seems to be tripled or doubled versus the junk food items that are low, even fast food. If you notice, a lot of homes these days eat out more, or they grab DoorDash, or they just get takeout. Why? Because it's cheaper. It's cheaper to buy your food out versus buying your food and be able to cook it at home. And the time that we live in, people are always fast paced, fast paced, fast paced. It can't really stop to, take a break. They're going to go with the cheaper option, the quicker option, the processed food, versus if the food was always, the healthy options were cheaper, you would see more people inclined to buy healthy food items, apples, bananas, you know, the works, and make things at home. They'd put that time aside to do those things or meal prep. But if they don't do that, they don't got pizza rolls, pizza, frozen pizza, you know, pop it in a microwave, oven, whatever how they prepare their food, or DoorDash, McDonald's, or just go to the drive-through and pay like $10 or less than that and get their stuff and be on their way. Those things are the things that should be noticed and paid attention and looked at, but instead it's not. And those are the talks that we really need to be having. um, and another great thing, I don't know if people have noticed, and people are talking about cryptocurrency out here, and finding ways to make money and how to flip money and how to do things. Let me be the first to tell you, I am an accountant by craft. I have my degrees. I have 2 degrees in accounting. Let's be clear. I also have a business administration degree, and I have some financial degrees. And I'm pretty well versed and educated. I might not give uh, that impression when you first meet me because I'm smiley, I'm goofy, but in reality, I'm analyzing you. I'm looking at you. I'm watching the way you move. I might not say nothing to you, but I'm analyzing everything. And a lot of times I will play dumb or ignorant to a lot of things. And it always throws people off when I actually start speaking some facts and speaking things that they thought about that, but they weren't really sure. And a lot of times people don't realize that I know a lot of stuff that I know. And it's mainly because I don't really feel the need to boast myself 24/7 about it. I know it, I know it, you know? Um, and a lot of things I don't know, I won't speak on. But if I know it, I typically will speak on it if I know you're going down a path speaking on a certain topic that is completely wrong. Um, and occasionally I will step in and try to steer you to the right direction. But I don't do it for everybody. I remember when cryptocurrency, they had the Bitcoin, and then you got that Dogecoin, and things were, people were talking, and people were like, "Well, what are you doing? You should invest in this." Nah, I I've been investing since 2008, and I've made quite a bit of money on it. I don't brag about it too much because it's my business. It's my financial stuff. It's my personal thing. There's no real reason for me to brag or talk about it because it's my income. But what I will do if I know that I have a sure thing that's making money and I have people that I can help get ahead in life at a low cost, I'm always willing to teach them how to do it, not do it for them. I'm a very big believer that you should not allow anyone to do your investments for you. You should always want to crave that knowledge. You should always want to know how to do it yourself. And I am all about helping people when it comes to that. If I can give you some information that may help you better you in the future, I'm always willing to do that. But there's always a caveat to that. Just because I'm willing to do that, it doesn't necessarily mean that I will do that for you at all times. And that seems to be the thing that most people think that, oh, he gave me this information once, he'll do it for me all the time. And believe it or not, that's not the case. Some information I give people out there is stuff that I'm personally doing myself. I'm a firm believer of I will never tell you to invest in something that I haven't invested in myself or put my foot in. I feel like anybody who tells you to invest in something, but then they never invested in themselves, is very untrustworthy to me. I will never respect anybody that tells me to invest in something, and then if I turn around and say, "So what do you invested into it?" Oh, nothing yet. I'm just telling people, look, if you haven't even took the chance yourself to invest into whatever product you're trying to sell me on, just shut up because I really don't care at that point. Why would I trust your word into investing into a certain product if you don't even invest into it yourself? Normally, when I tell someone what I'm, something to look at or pay attention to while investing, I've already invested into that same product. I'm a firm believer. You never preach to somebody about doing something that you're not willing to do yourself. I think that's bad business, karma, whatever you want to call it. But back to the coins. There were some coins out there, and I told everybody buy them, hold on to them. Now, mind you, I'm a firm believer invest small, big gains at the end. And I told some people about some investments. I told them to hold on to them. Don't jump the gun. Please don't jump the gun. Just kind of relax a bit. Now, mind you, times get hard, money gets tight. People do what they have to do. Never knock that. If I ever give you tips on investments, and they start paying out, and you need to pull out because you're tight and you need that, by all means, do what you have to do to survive in this dog eat world. Um, because at the end of the day, you have to be able to live with yourself. But a lot of people, when they sold out of a certain coin, when it skyrocketed, they hit me up like, "Oh, I bet you made some money. Let me hold something." Nah, I didn't make anything yet. What do you mean? I didn't sell. Well, I invested money into a certain coin or certain coins that I did not care to miss. $28 here, $28 there. It was money that I saw as an investment, a long term investment, because I will typically do a long term investment. So that way, when the time comes for me to sell, I will pay less back on the taxes, the interest, because I held it for a long period of time. There's a lot of more lingo to that one day I'll probably will break down for you guys. But the bottom line is, if you invest into something, whether it be stocks, crypto, 9 times out of 10, it's better for you to hold on to it if you can for a longer period of time before you sell, because you'll make more money, you'll have to pay less interest back. Yeah, you still have to pay taxes on it, don't get me wrong, but it will look better for you in the long run. And like for me, one of my investments, I invested really well and I have tons of profit. And I still have tons of profit and I still won't sell. I see everybody out here selling. And I mind you, I did that one time. There was a coin out there. I had a ton of it, a ton of it. And one day I had to make a trip for a family function, and I was like, you know what? I'll buy it again. Let me sell it. And I sold it. And I shit you not, a week later, that coin tripled, doubled, however you want to say it. It flew up in price margin. And I was kicking myself in the ass still to this day, because the amount of coins I had, and when I sold the coins, I got maybe like a $500 profit. But if I would have held on to those coins and not sold and waited, I would low key be a millionaire right now. So since then, I've learned from my some mistakes, and I said, when everybody else sells, I'm not gonna sell, just because I'm doing more research, I'm looking at more things, and I don't want to make the same mistake I made before. Not to mention, if I invested super low, if I lose $28, it was $28. I spend that on, chips or going to the movies or whatever that case may be for that month. It's not really much of a blow to me. And it's fine, it's cool. I'm loving it. I absolutely love it. Right now, I have a couple different wallets where I'm sitting good. Now, mind you, I am not your guys' financial advisor. If you guys want me to be your financial advisor one day, we can probably sit down, make some talks, drop a contract, have you pay me, the works, because I do have a media finance company. Um, but normally, if I'm giving advice, I have a Discord channel, and every now and then, who's ever in that circle, in that Discord, I will drop some financial information from time to time that I'm currently doing that are worthy of note for people to take a look at if they wanted to invest. And then from that point, if you hit me up wanting to know certain information or talking, I'm always willing to sit down and talk and hash things out and try to explain to you how my mind works. My mind is not like your average person's mind. For those who know, your boy is severely dyslexic when it comes to certain things. That doesn't mean I'm slow. It just means I have a different way of thinking. I process information extremely different than the next person. What one person may see as a negative or a flaw, I look at as a positive obstacle that I can overcome and strive to be better at something else. And when it comes to investments and money, every investment I've ever done has always paid out big. No matter how small or little or large I invested into it, I've always made profit. And I take very, very, very much pride in that because that lets me know that I'm always on to something new. I'm always striving to something, and what I'm doing works for me. It might not work for you, but it works for me. Now, if you're one of those people who want to invest like I invest and you're trying to learn, I will always do my best to try to educate on some of those things. Um, but at the end of the day, the decisions are always yours because how I help people invest, I will never take your money from you and invest it. I will show you how to set up your own account, how to work it, how to look at the numbers the best way I can so that way you understand. Now, mind you, remember, I am severely dyslexic. So, my thinking process and how I come to a conclusion of how to invest and the moves I'm going to be making sometimes may not make sense for everybody, which is fine. It's okay because I can't sometimes articulate the proper way to explain it to somebody because how I know it works, it might not come out the same way when I try to explain to someone else next to me how it works. I just tell people trust the process. Show them the wallets, show them what I'm doing, show them how I'm doing it, and I say if you want to work with me, that's cool. When things start to go crazy, I'll take a look and I'll see, hey, you could sell now if you want or not. And a lot of people hit me up. I'm like, hey, you see the markets? And sometimes I don't look at the markets all the time. There are those days where I'm looking at the market 24/7. Because those who don't know, stock markets and cryptocurrency are two very different things. Stock markets have a point in time where they don't operate, like the weekend. Stock markets not operate right now. It's Saturday, but cryptocurrency is still operating. Cryptocurrency is still going. It's a 24-hour thing, and I see a vision with cryptocurrency moving in the future for a lot of different countries, helping countries come out of poverty, a lot of positive things, and I have a mind map work of how each country could potentially be profitable on this. If you those who don't know, El Salvador did switch to cryptocurrency. I have to do another check to make sure they're still doing their cryptocurrency thing. But a lot of those countries that have you know been super profitable, and a lot of countries have slowly started to implement their own cryptocurrency. They may not be talking about it right now because most countries want to have their foot in the door before they really push it out there because they want a piece of the action. They might not talk about it publicly right away, but in hindsight, they want a piece of that. So a lot of them, you know, They tell you not to invest, don't do this, don't do that. But they're investing. If you ever watch the wealthy, when people start selling and selling and selling, look at what the wealthy are doing. They're not saying anything. What they're doing is they're buying. They're waiting for you to sell high, and then they buy low because every market rebounds back up. And most of the time, when it bounces back up, it bounces back up. It thrives better than it did before. So a lot of wealthy people will wait and watch stuff go down cheap, and they will swing in and they will buy it. And that's kind of what you do. Um, I do it myself. I ain't gonna hold you. I do it myself. When, let's for instance, Dogecoin. Every time it does a little dip, I do a little dip and pull some out. Why? Because I'm buying low. I'm buying lower than the next person who's going to be buying at a higher price because I'm buying during the dips. And that is one thing I will always encourage. Buy during your dips. Don't be discouraged or persuaded not to do it. Even when it comes to selling, like sell when you're comfortable. Now, mind you, if a lot of people held off and they didn't sell right away, a lot more people be rich. A lot more people will be in different brackets. A lot more people have taxes to pay, but they would be happy at the end of the day. And you can't speak for everybody, and I wish you could and be like, hey, don't sell. Stay strong. Let's control the market. Let's change the game. I'm thinking a lot of things are going to change in the few coming years, um, for the better for a lot of people. Uh, also want to take a moment and have somewhat a moment of silence uh, for the individuals in California who are losing everything right now to these wildfires. It's a sad thing. It kind of sucks. And let's throw some salt on those people who are out there trying to actively keep wildfires going. You guys don't realize you're not, just destroying people's homes. You're also hurting the environment too, our ozone layer. You're just kind of messing a lot of things up because you're causing it instead of trying to help fix it. Um, and it kind of sucks. And it's crazy. I saw a video on YouTube of these kids out there just taking containers of gas and just throwing it towards the fires. It's like, why? Why are you doing this? Like, can you explain like how does this benefit you? You're trying to burn your school down, then how would you, get the education? Oh, you homeschool. Oh, it's that's not smart. Just because you don't want to go to school, don't try to take away from other people's education. And education is another hard topic for me because those who don't know, I have a daughter, and not too long ago found out that she was autistic. She's a highly functional autistic child, and I always thought that she had dyslexia like me because mine's pretty bad, and she was showing a lot of signs, and she still may have just a sliver of it there, but did some tests and found out that she had autism. And being in the state that I'm in, which is Georgia at the moment, I try to get her proper help at the school, and the help that the doctor recommends for her to have, she can't get because the education requirements or curriculum is has a lower standard than the average. So even though by the standard of the doctor said that she qualifies for all these programs, the school says she doesn't qualify because their curriculum is so low and their standards are so low that she doesn't meet the requirements to have the program that she's supposed to be on, which sucks because that means she's going to struggle. So they have her on a different program that's supposed to help her, but she's still having hard times with it. And I have in my community that I live in, I had people who have decided to homeschool their kids because of the school standards in the state. The state standards are low, unfortunately. I wish there was a way to change that, to raise them, and to make sure that kids that have learning differences had the proper tools and the proper support around them to get the help that they need so that way they can be prosperous and have a good life and not have to worry about, the constantly being bullied in different classes when they can't keep up because of their differences. Now, sometimes they put kids in different classes with other kids that have different um, learning differences than they do. And sometimes that works and sometimes that doesn't. But for like my daughter, for instance, her difference that she has with her autism, it still allows her to be functional with other kids. It still allows her to have a normal life with social skills because she's very social. But there are things that she struggles with in a social aspect that she would do better to have the proper help with her 24/7 at school that they don't allow, which is it's sad because if my daughter's going through this, I can definitely imagine the other children that are going through this and the struggle, and it hurts them because they want to feel like all the rest of the kids. They want to feel like the rest of the students that they're friends with. And now, mind you, every student has a struggle or a difference that they fight through to succeed, and she overall does well. But for the ones that can't, um, it's when you think about it, it just saddens and it's just kind of disheartening to know that there are other kids out there who are having certain issues or having certain difficulties, and they can't get the proper help that they want. And you know, you always try to figure out what you can do to make a difference. And those things, what can you do with that? Because you have one kid and there's a million out there. And unfortunately, not every parent puts forth that same energy and effort to ensure that their child has the proper help that they need or deserve. And I really wish some of those things that we could change, but unfortunately, you can't. So you just kind of move and hope for the best. Another tad bit. Um, this year we were supposed to get some snow and where I live at, but of course we didn't. We just got super cold. And I think that's like the worst thing about living in the South is that yeah, when it gets cold down here, it gets cold. And I'm from Illinois originally, so mind you, I don't get super cold because I love the cold. My body might not like it anymore as I'm aging and having all these injuries that I got from the military. But yet you try. Um, yeah. So that being said, there are some segments that moving forward that I think I'm going to be bringing up. I think I want to start like a book club segment. Those who know, I don't really read too much, but what I don't read, I listen to because Audible books are amazing. And I'm a firm believer that audiobooks are the best way sometimes to actually go through a book. Now, hear me out. Don't judge, but hear me out. When an author writes a book, an author goes through and then you buy your book and then you read your book. But a lot of people, when they read a book, they don't read it the way the author intended for the book to be read. To caveat to that, let's say you have Audible from Amazon, like I do, and you get so many credits a month, you get to buy your books, I even have some books for free. But the one thing I do love about them is that when the narrator reads the book, they work hand in hand typically with the author or a screenwriter or whatever the case may be. But the author is still involved into that book, and the names that are said through the story, they are said while you're listening to it the correct way, the way that the author intended for it. So in my belief, if you have someone who was narrating the story with the help of the author, you are truly getting a true experience of the way the story is supposed to be told. And I by far think that is the best way. You don't have to worry about trying to read the story, trying to picture how the author intended the story to be read. All you have to kind of do is kind of listen, which allows you to activate certain parts of your brain to allow you to truly envision what the author was trying to tell in their story. And for me, if I pick up a book or hook up my phone and click on a book on Audible and I'm listening to it and I can't envision that story in my head, I cannot picture it, I will stop listening to it or I will stop reading it. I have to be able to visualize the story that's being, read or told to me. I also feel like there's a lot of like people are running out of ideas for movies. Like, oh my god, a lot of remakes. Oh, we're doing these movies. Oh, the same thing over and over and over. How about we just get some people who truly love certain books and we had them create these books into anime or movies? There are so many amazing books that I've read out there or I listen to out there that would be great movies. Like there's this one. It was I have to look it up. Where's my phone? I want to say it was the Elemental, and it gives you kind of a Harry Potter vibe. And mind you, it's not Harry Potter at all. But the characters that they put in the story, you would swear that it was Harry Potter. Which you know, to me, great because Harry Potter is a good series on itself, but a story that can capulate and truly, truly get through. Oh, where's my series? Uh, I, I for one, absolutely love. Let me see. Yeah, Elemental Academy. It is a very good book. Um, I went through all of the books. I got the book set, which was like 1 to 3, um, on Audible, and it was amazing. It was like 31 hours. I highly recommend it to start. And they had 7 books. Let me tell you, it was great. Right now, I am on. I started a few different series. Really good while I wait for the main ones that come out. Those who don't know, I love the RPG series, The Land. Amazing, amazing, amazing. The author had took like I think like 3 years off. It was killing me. But he in between he wrote a couple of different books, and right now he's working on his ninth installment called Mayhem, The Land, and he did something on YouTube, um, and on Facebook because he's been giving updates. And I tell you, he is an amazing writer. Procrastinates a lot, but the stuff that he puts out, I am definitely happy with. And I know a lot of people get mad because some authors they start, they stop, and then they just disappear. I'm glad that he did not disappear. He took time away, took care of his mental health again. Um, Mental health is a big thing. If your mental health is not up to par, you do just, you start to stagnate where you're at. So mental health is one of those big things that you always got to make sure you're putting your best in to take care of. Because without your mental health, you can't accomplish what you need to truly accomplish. And from audio books and my book club that I plan on trying to talk about books that I'm listening to, that I feel that can be movies. That's one of my goals. I want to hit it big. I want to start my own official production company where I can take a book and link up with the author and see if we can make this into a movie or a show. That is what I'm going to be aiming for. And I will be boots to ground, truly getting stuff done to see if I can make that happen. Another great thing is anime. I don't really watch too much TV these days. I'm more so of the anime person, and I love my anime. Let me tell you, my anime is my anime. Um, I have been listening to a lot of anime. I have been grinding the anime like nobody's business, and I absolutely love a lot of the new animes that are coming out. I just get hooked. Um, I went back and I started watching some TV shows, which I hadn't been watching in a while. Those who know, and I started with my daughter while she was here for winter break. We started watching. The Equalizer. Now, you have all probably seen The Equalizer with Denzel Washington, the movie. I think they got four of them out right now. Um, but the TV series has Queen Latifah in it, and I have to tell you, it's good. It's a different take on The Equalizer. I thoroughly enjoy it. Now I just got to season 4, and it's on Paramount Plus, and it is. I think it's amazing. Now, mind you, there are some scenes, and you're like, yo, y'all did a real bad job doing her doubles for this, but the story is still good. I don't know how far they're taking, but that's another day, a story for another time about TV shows. I really think we're gonna dive into that when we get more people. But like I said, this is your boy Zone's first episode back. We've been gone for quite a while, 5 months I think, and I look forward to bringing back people to the show, bringing back people on, because of course my show is Chill with Zone and Company. So it wouldn't be a proper show sometimes if I don't have company here. So be look forward to my boy Thad. He has transitioned to a new location where he's living. So I think he'll have a little bit more free time to kind of, do some things. Then we'll have Taj back, who's also transitioning jobs and, doing his thing out there. And I'm looking forward to having more people to have the show more consistent, more natural. I'm going to try to do what I intended to do with the show originally, which was kind of have like an open couch format where we talk and we have fun. And of course, it was us supposed to be playing games, but how my mind works is very hard for me to play a game and have a great conversation. I just can't do both at the same time, like I want to anyway. So there are things to be worked out and things to be figured out, but we will get there. And as always, I enjoy my listeners that stop by to listen. If you guys all have at any point have a topic that you would like for us to talk about, minus, political stuff, because, like I said, I'm still going to try to stay true to that and try to stay away from as political many things as possible because there's so many channels out there that do that. You really don't need your boy Zone doing it. So we're going to do our best. Um, but I have some friends who, started their own little companies. They have some pop-up shops that happen, and I have some that run their own financial companies. And I look forward to being able to bring them onto the show and talk to them, and hopefully they can put out some information, whether it be financially that that they want to put out there with information that you can link up with them directly off the show, or if they want to tell you about their products that they're selling, or better yet, just get information of how you can be your own entrepreneur and how to put one foot in front of the next and keep to pushing and pushing and pushing and doing your thing out there. Those are all things that I am looking forward to, and I hope that you all will be looking forward to it. And I'm hoping this year will be a great year, 2025. Happy New Year's, if I hadn't said it already. And I hope that everybody had a great holiday, Christmas, or whatever holiday that you celebrate. I hope that it was amazing. And we are going to see you guys next time. And like always, it has been real. Your boy Zone was here for a short time, but a good time. Just kind of, coming back with an episode so that way, I didn't forget about you guys because I truly didn't. As I was taking that break away, uh, I really was sitting there thinking of what more could I bring to the show? How can I really captivate the audience and draw you guys in? And you guys are always amazing. Those who reach out to me, who've listened to the show, I I thoroughly enjoyed talking to you. And I look forward to being able to talk to you again in the future. And I'm hoping in the next episode I will break down my holiday trip and how much fun I had and some of the debacles that happened during that. and what I'm looking to do in the future, and tell you about some of the updates we had in our house and just a lot of great things. And I'm hoping that, that your boy Zone has some company with them to keep you guys entertained. Are you not entertained? I think that was from Gladiator, the first one. Also saw Gladiator 2. I loved it. I thought it was good. Um, but I digress. Your boy Zone has to get out of here. Until we meet again, you guys, as always, stay blessed and happy, and we will see you guys again. This your boy Zone signing out. Thanks again for tuning in to Chillin' with Zone and Company. We'll see you next Saturday.